His work ethic is been. Then he will send it out! Raise the roof! Henrik flexes on it.
Get around here. Give you the fist pump. He pumps that fist. This will be a 7. You called it early. They have written him. Johnson just stayed at home. Had his hand on the ball. Drive. Puts the shot up. How did he get that in? The shot, 3 seconds. Molly McKendrick, turn away jumper. That is who you want to get the ball there.
Yep.
Oh!
And that is your Kodak moment.
There he goes. Saunders has everything behind her as we're about to get underway here at Starplex. It's a cool night in Gawler.
It's a cool night. Haven't got the jacket out just yet. It'll cool down a bit. I think it's going to get down to about 15 degrees. I know that because I was listening to the radio on the way here in my long journey from home. It took me 6 minutes to get here. So.
That's great. You might see in the live stream Kevin Brooks on the Centrals bench. He's of course coaching them again this season. It's been a couple of years since he was last here.
Yep, off the Nord, then back here.
The 36ers assistant is just he's a great character in Adelaide now, having been in the area for so long, and it's cool to see him back in the head coaching ranks.
I have to say I am disappointed in his footwear tonight. Normally you see the real slick cowboy style boot, but it looks like he's just gone with the regular black tonight. But we might chat with him later on tonight about his choices for the next game.
Yeah, I think he's all right. But we're about to tip off here. Leah Swain gets the ball rolling, and Nisa Sexton, can she keep it in? She does. And Centrals will start us off.
Setting it up. Swain at the top of the key. Into the hands of Boone. Gets things underway for Centrals.
And Boone's first shot doesn't fall, but you'll see the ball in her hands plenty of times.
She'll be controlling a lot of those offenses, that's for sure.
Yeah, here's Brianti Saunders giving it to McKendrick. You'll see that combination a lot. McKendrick with one of the best fadeaway jumpers in the league, but she doesn't need a fadeaway for that one. But the rebound's grabbed by Elizabeth Petrie, and Saunders will reset.
Not an easy task getting those sort of shots over the top of Leah Swain, that's for sure.
That's true. And the shot is a bit wide there. Casey Harnett not getting that one to go, and Lions bring it back up. Here's Nisa Sexton with a 3-ball. Fires wide again, and McKendrick grabs her first board of the night.
Bit of a wince on that jump to the rebound there, just on the face of Molly McKendrick. That's just something maybe to keep an eye on. We are 1 minute into the game, and that's not a good sign.
Yeah, it's you wouldn't want that. Saunders a bit congested up here. Gives it to Harnett. Harnett out and looking to work things out is Jordan Smith. Passed it over to Saunders. It was a tough pass to make, but Harnett gets the shot off. Doesn't fall. No one's hit the scoreboard in the first minute.
Boone controlling the play, setting up. Lob at the top to Swain, a little bit long, overcooked it. And South will take it from the baseline.
Well, there's one of those turnovers that we discussed before the match. Of course, Central's averaging 20 turnovers a game. They need to cut that down tonight if they're going to notch their first win of the season. But here's Saunders. Gives it to McKendrick on the much smaller opponent. McKendrick tries to work it out, and it's a bit of a mess in there, but she'll go to the line for 2 and probably get us going for the first points of the match.
With regard to that turnover stat as well, unfortunately, it's not a full-strength Central District Lions as we hope to have seen them tonight. Just watch this first foul shot from Molly McKendrick. Takes the breath. And no good on the first attempt. Centrals are very, very close to getting the paperwork through for a very exciting prospect.
That's true, isn't it? She's here, isn't she?
She's here.
Awaiting clearance.
She's just waiting for the clearance to come through from BA, from our friends at Basketball Australia.
Best friends. Banwell passes it out. Here's Sexton. Sexton has a lot of height against her there. Tries to pass it out, and Centrals will retain the ball with 12 seconds remaining. To inbound it is Kirsten Mosey, who's found plenty of minutes in this Central side this season. It's a very young side, it must be said. But the block, she'll go to the line for 2. Looks like a good effort there from Harnett, the much taller Harnett, but Casey Banwell will go to the line for 2.
Good penetration, took the body contact. She was always going to block the ball, but Banwell did the right thing, took the body, and heads to the line for 2 free throws.
Now, AB, are you going to have a go with that name? He's got the scoop.
I will. This is
exclusive information.
I'm normally more of an ice cream scooper than a basketball news scooper than anything else. As we watch Banwell go 2 from 2, nothing but the bottom of the cup on that occasion. Veronica Perez Crespo. She's from Puerto Rico. She did a lot of she played basketball in the US and then headed over to France where she was released from her French team.
Okay. Oh, the shots. There, Jordan Smith gets her side going. As we said, she does have a good jumper, and I'm sure Kelly Manning will look to get that going throughout the game. Of course, Kelly Manning, the assistant coach for South Saunders, will get points here. But Kelly Manning sitting in for Richard Dickel. Of course, he's over at the state champs, and in his place is Kelly Manning, being the assistant coach, standing up, filling the void. But with that comes probably an opportunity for Centrals to take advantage of them not having their head coach controlling them.
Any sort of major person out of any sort of lineup, whether it be a head coach, whether it be a captain, or one of your real promising players, that's going to disrupt the apple cart just a little bit.
The effort there from Harnett doesn't go, and bringing it back up is Sexton. Of course, Sexton born in the same year as UAB, 1983.
That's it. Happy birthday to everybody born in 1983.
Quite a vintage year. Leah Swain keeps it in, and it goes around. Boone will take the 3. It's quite up and under and doesn't go. A lot of the shots leaning to the left so far in this encounter on that side.
The way the wind's going at the moment, Benito, as Briancy Saunders has flipped away through the key and puts another 2 points on the board for South Adelaide.
Saunders looking active early.
Very active.
The teams do look a little bit lethargic, I'd say. Banwell goes up, gets it over the top of Jordan Smith, and the Centrals grab the rebound. And Swain will look to work inside. This is what she's best at. So she doesn't find a way past. And 3-second violation.
Interesting call. But that's all right. South Adelaide looking to make a change into the ball game comes Irina Marafiotti.
Of course, number 1 in the league for steals, equal first, I should say. Jasmine Boone tying her as well with 15. So she's quite an active player and maybe could bring that energy that this game probably needs early on. But South out to a 4-point lead, looking to consolidate here. And here's the shot. As we said, Smith, a good 3-point shooter. That one doesn't go, but South retain possession, and they're really putting the pressure on Centrals early.
Tulsa for the rebound, and Sexton's called for the foul.
Not too happy there.
They were both wrestling each other. That it might have just been positional than anything else. But Marafiotti from downtown drops it. First shot for her, first bucket, pushes this one out to a 7-point lead.
You can't keep her open. You can't leave her open, I should say. And she nearly gets the steal there on cue. But here's Banwell. Good defense there. Boone will look to get inside Saunders, and she does pretty well. Saunders does even better, but I think we're going to the line for 2.
Must have got a hand in there onto the wrist somewhere, but
I saw the hand pointing out that way, but he was pointing to his other referee to make the call. So it was
someone's seen something that
fooled me there.
That's why there's 3.
Fooled me.
That's why there's 3 referees, because there's always an angle that they can't quite see.
This is either the first or the second season that they've brought in 3 referees for the women's games. Before that, it was only 3 for the men's, and they only had 2 for the women. So it's really good to see the commitment to good calls.
That's it. I think that's just the way the game is going. I mean, it's so fast. I mean, every sport that we're looking at, from whether it be football to cricket to basketball.
Great pass and making it count.
There's the finish. But we're seeing that we need these officials to increase to the number of 3 to ensure that we are able to see everything that happens within the game to keep it a safe, well-flowing game.
Yeah. Chappelle with the pass inside. Swain has 3 players on her. She has to pass that out. And Sexton with the shot. Doesn't go, but the foul is called.
On a rebound.
You see how they man up on Swain there. There's 3 players on her.
She's a tough competitor. She'll blow right through you if you give her a chance. Like, she's super strong. She's still very nimble for a big, and she'll knock you out.
Well, she nears 2 meters with her height, and that's easily the tallest person in the comp. I don't know how Sexton put that ball in the basket, but it counts, and Centrals are back in touch with South here, trailing by 5. There's Marafiotti straight out to Saunders. She takes her time.
All the time in the world.
And she makes the Lions pay. Saunders is looking hot early, and she's the go-to woman, I think, here.
She certainly is. Lions looking for the quick reply. And they do, straight up. getting through the key away nice and quickly. Great pass over the top. And Schrappel finishes quite comfortably.
Schrappel, only 18 years old as well. And nice defensive rebound effort there. Doesn't quite grab it, Marafiotti, but Boone will bring it up. Desmond Boone looking to control things a little bit. And that is wonderful layup work.
The step. Control the ball from Jasmine Boone. She had it on an absolute string, made it dance around the ring, and in it went.
That's bellissimo stuff. Marafiotti, I thought she'd put up the shot there. Great pass to McKendrick, doesn't go. And Boone with the rebound. Just looking to grab some stats early on. She's going to drive again. Puts the shot up.
And why not?
How about that?
Why not when you can do stuff like that? And I think South Adelaide want to talk this one over. They did have a nice set lead, but now it is back to 2.
And deft touch there from Boone. Here's the layup. The control there, the body control to get into the position where she needed to get to.
Almost looked like she took a little bit of contact too, kept nice and balanced, and a wonderful finish.
And look at that again, from another angle.
Absolute textbook, that's just balance, poise and control.
She goes right, she goes back left, gets in between, snakes her way through, and that's quite a good basket.
That's talent, that's why they've got her back here again for season 2019.
And here's Kevin Brooks giving a talk to his women who have bridged the gap. Is there anything you reckon he'd be saying to those girls now?
It's continuing to, from a defensive point of view, making sure they talk, making sure they're not leaving players like Briante Saunders, even making sure that your matchups down in the low post with Molly Kendrick are right, not leaving players like Marafiotti and Saunders free and open to take wide open shots like they both have. They let them both open twice in a row. Both of them knock down 3-point shots.
Yeah.
They cannot afford to let that happen throughout the rest of the game.
As we see McKendrick, the first out of the huddle there, goes straight to the referee, and it's just asking, pleading just about for some more, I guess, kind calls.
I think it's just having a chat with referee James Brown, the soul man.
He's a great guy.
Yep, they're quite happy with that. They both agreed to something, and that's probably good for the game.
Here's Saunders bringing it up. She has 7 points already in this one. 3 from 3 from the field. Get it in her hands. She works her way around to the corner. Keep an eye on that. McKendrick will go herself. And Boone manning up on Saunders. So smart choice. McKendrick doesn't get the shot. But the foul is called and the Lions will take that up.
Foul on the rebound and Hatchard. Got to contest them though. You got to contest those balls. I mean, you got to make Leah Swain work for every single rebound that she gets. I mean, she's used to it. She's an absolute pro, but you got to make her work for it.
Schrappel, pass it inside Swain. She's got the one-on-one matchup. Makes it work. Leah Swain. That's what we want to see.
The extra height will just dominate every time. You can't teach height, that's for sure.
And on the field now is Anne Hatchard. Hatchard takes a tumble, and that's going to be a jump ball. No, Centrals get the ball back. And the steal will be credited to Boone, but Schrappel did the work there. Here's the layup, and doesn't fall for Hannah Dixon.
Hannah Dixon, not enough Wheaties this morning.
Close, but no cigar. As the pass, and that pass is closer to the referee than any other player. And that'll be a Central's ball. Dixon, if she had hit that shot, the pressure would have really been on South Adelaide. They would have led 16-14.
That would have been their first lead, second lead of the game after getting the first 2 points from foul shots from Nisa Sexton earlier on in the piece.
A fast start is crucial for the Lions. Schrappel will go to the line because in previous matches, I've been to a couple of Centrals matches this year. They've stayed in touch in the first half, and then they've just trailed away in the second when players get tired and they have to dig deeper on their bench. Because probably the one biggest criticism you could have of this Lions team is that they don't go very deep. I was just going to say, and that's going to be controlled by an absolute pro like Kevin Brooks. I mean, he's going to make sure that these girls are not running out of petrol tickets earlier on in the piece. And especially Boone, he has to take care of her, make sure she is still in a position to be making shots and she's not off her feet, exhausted, because of course she's the key to this.
You'll likely see a lot of just really short, sporadic breaks, a minute and a half, that sort of stuff. Just let her catch her breath, get some fluid into her.
Exactly. McKendrick, again off the ring and out, but she'll go to the line for 2. And I believe that's another foul on Swain. That might just be a first for the night.
It certainly is foul number 1 for Leah Swain, which is a good thing. You definitely don't want someone like Leah Swain sitting on the pine for any stretch of time.
Exactly, and we've only been through 7 minutes so far. Central's holding a slender 1-point lead, and maybe this is it. Maybe this is the game that they get off the bottom of the ladder.
They've got to a cracking start. They've got players like Shrapple up and running. Boone's obviously doing what Boone does. Leah Swain is heavily involved. They just need some more names to go along with those 3 for the next 3 and a bit quarters.
So after McKendrick missed her first 2 free throws, she makes up with those next 2. And the ball, that's so close to cross court. In fact, it is. Had a good angle there, AP. You're right on there.
If they needed to do a third umpire, it would have been right on it.
They would have gone straight to you.
Straight to me.
AB, what is the call here? And you would have pended for about 6 minutes and then would have made the call.
I would have gone and maybe gotten a coffee, maybe something to eat. Said hello to Dave.
Press the wrong button.
And make sure he's still awake.
He's up and running. Here's McKendrick, pulls up.
And that's Molly McKendrick.
I like it.
Bread and butter. They've got to answer here. This has got to be a basket. It's not just about getting a basket for basket, but staying in touch, especially through the first 2 quarters of this game, because that's going to set them up in the last half.
Good passing here. And on the outside, looking to move in is Dixon. She turns it over and then fouls. Fouls either on her or Norgate. And it is Hen Dixon. That's disappointing there that she couldn't keep control of that one as it slipped away from her grasp.
Eyes for the basket, just didn't quite keep them on the ball, but it's still a really positive sign to see her going at the basket and being aggressive.
For sure.
That's what Kevin would like to see, I'm sure.
And Saunders getting a rest, Swain getting a rest. Here's McKendrick, they'll look to go through her. She pulls up again, just off the top of the ring, and a great offensive rebound, and the points will count. That's Phoebe Whitworth-Smith. She's in form. She got 19 points in the Rezzies on Tuesday night.
That's huge.
So that was the biggest output of the night for South. They suffered a pretty heavy loss, but it's good to see players off the bench scoring points in the reserves, giving Rich Dickel an option, and tonight Kelly Manning an option. Here's Chappelle from the charity stripe, comes back to her, but the rebound is grabbed by Marafiotti. In fact, there's the bucket.
And again, there she is again, pops up again, Phoebe Whitworth-Smith.
Oh, controls it.
And we just.
Dixon to Chappelle. Chappelle has the lane. It has a thought there. It discussed with itself whether it should fall in, and it did.
That's home court advantage rings. I think that's what it is. It's just like, yep, that's a central shot.
Here's McKendrick. She'll look to post up. She's got the great matchup there. You don't put Norgate on McKendrick because McKendrick will score that 19 times out of 20.
The rest of the defense has to recognize that and ensure they get over to double or at least put some kind of ball pressure on it.
Well, I love the leadership shown by McKendrick right now. Boone gets the hits. The foul is called. She has a free shot, bounces back off the ring, but she'll go to the line for 2. But McKendrick looking at home in this South outfit as the captain, the sole captain now as well. Hayley Bunt's no longer with the side. She had to move cities for work, which is quite unfortunate, and the team was pretty gutted to lose her.
She's been around the South Adelaide unit for a very, very long time, Hayley Bunce.
Yeah, and give credit to her for sticking with the team as long as she did. And it's actually, it worked out all right for them because they now have McKendrick, and they now have a great leader in McKendrick who really can get these girls excited and going. And I talked to her this week for an interview, for an article that I'm writing, and she really just was excited to give these girls confidence because that's probably something they've lacked in the past few years, and the fact that she's able to instill that in a team and show them that they can mix it with the best, I think that's the biggest thing she's getting out of her time here. Whitworth-Smith, the pass over, doesn't fall, and the rebound is grabbed. Hatchard, she gives it to Saunders and they reset. Saunders pulls up, and she scores again, 4 from 4.
Wide open jump shot from the top of the key. You've got to go with her. She is red hot dangerous.
9 points now for Saunders, and the ball lost. Hatchard, great steal, but it gets back to Dixon. Dixon out, and the pass back to Dixon from Norgate. Again, the ring not being too kind, but it falls. And we've got a high-scoring quarter. It's 21-26. Can South make it count? Saunders should put this up. She is. Oh, the pass out. That's smart. And the bucket goes. What an end to the quarter for the Panthers.
Absolute. That would be almost tearing your hair out if you're Kevin Brooks right now.
She got two little horns and they give me a little bit.
Let's do it. Saunders has it. The hot hands. And Anne Hatchard, not far off, but doesn't fall. And Dixon taking it up, getting plenty of minutes here. She charges through. Saunders on her, defending well. Keeps her held up. Sexton moving about. They look active now, the Lions. Moving the ball quickly. Here's Norgate. And bringing it. Here's Banwell. Banwell trying to work inside. And loses possession.
That's okay. That's okay.
The intent's there.
The tempo was there.
The intent was definitely there.
KB would be very happy with that part of it. He would be upset at the turnover because this is something that I spoke to KB about before the start of the game. Was that turnovers kill him every week, but that tempo was still positive.
And the pass out, almost not ready for it there, but Saunders gives it to Hatchard. Hatchard, not quite, but she's not too phased.
Not at all.
But south to the line again, 3 Hatchard. And of course, I believe this is the Anne Hatchard that plays for the Adelaide Football Club in the AFLW, of course, a premiership winner. And she played brilliant in the first season. I believe she was an All-Australian as well. But usually Chelsea Green suits up in the 51. So to have Hatchard here as well, that's pretty sweet.
That is huge. I was there for the grand final for about 8 seconds. It was.
You rocked up at the silent. You paid for the speeches.
I'm not even kidding. That would have been great to have gotten there earlier on, but we're in the middle of a house, trying to get our house up on the market and sold, so we were busy cleaning stuff at home. So.
But you went. You went there.
My mum took my kids my 2 daughters to the game, and they had a great time. They cheered on loudly, and really enjoyed themselves seeing a great win to Adelaide Football Club. A great spectacle for women's sport too. That was probably the most pleasing part about that.
Here's Chappelle bringing it up. Expect to see her on the ball for plenty of it. Quite a good point guard for her age, as I believe we said earlier, just 18 years old.
Really exciting, just a really exciting prospect for Centrals. If she can stick around, she's a junior, so she's been around a long time for the Central District Basketball Club. As turnover, and the Centrals would take it right back and reload once again.
Sexton not sure what to do there.
Saunders will give her not an inch.
Oh, and the foot.
And that's good for her.
But it's good practice for sure, and smart play there. Banwell gets open for her as she saw her gather the ball. And out to Swain. Swain, rocket pass to Sexton, blocked. But Sexton gets it back inside to Norgate. Norgate controlling, pass out to Swain. Put it up. She's not going to.
Great shoes though.
Flashing it out, and
that's unfortunate.
Again, one of those errors.
In two minds, was going to pass, was going to keep the dribble, ended up doing both.
But you can see the intent is there to score buckets, and actually I'm not worried by the basketball they're playing, because it's good basketball. They're moving the ball about freely. They just got to not drop their heads, keep their heads up, because when you keep going, the shots are going to fall.
They're not making silly errors. They're making in-game play errors, which happens. It happens when you're trying to go as hard as they are, as Leah Swain knocks the ball away. Fast break Centrals. Sexton pull-up jump shot.
That was a risky shot, shooting it over McKendrick. But they retain possession.
Only just. There's a fingernail in it.
The attacking agenda is there.
I like that shot. I like that shot for the fact that it wasn't pulled up and then they reset into another slow motion offense.
That's true.
Sexton kept it going. It was great.
Chappelle puts up the early floater. Doesn't come off the glass kindly. But here's Stewart. Stewart working her way in. Tries to lift that one over the ring, but it doesn't go.
As we see Boone, along with Mosey, check back into the game.
Well, this is an important stage of the match. They'll need Boone to get some baskets here, because in reality, they needed to score 25 plus points tonight.
It needs to happen. You're absolutely right.
Because she's their star. She's their star player. Chappelle working on McKendrick. Moves her arms fast enough to draw the foul. Quick, nice agility there.
Molly was perplexed by that one, but it was an absolutely correct call. She put her arm out. Schrappel did the rest.
I think Schrappel knew where McKendrick was and just worked her way around, knowing that even if she didn't get the basket, which was probably looking unlikely, she'd draw the foul.
Well composed, well thought through for an 18-year-old. I can't remember making any decisions that were anything like that when I was 18 years old. Although, as we touched on earlier, I was born in 1983, and when I was 18, that was a long, long time ago.
Well, Y2K had just passed through.
Oh, let's not talk
it was a
about
dangerous time.
All the things that happened, I tell you. I don't know if you were around then, but...
Oh, I was born in 98, 15 years younger than you, but
yeah.
You're not showing your age. It's all good. Here's McKendrick. McKendrick brings it up, and that is cut off by Leah Swain. Showing agility there to get in.
Speaking of age as well, so the import that we are certainly waiting to see, which should happen for the next game against Forestville, they've got up next. So we'll see Perez in that game.
That's great to see.
She was born in 1995, so she's right where you want it for that sort of age bracket, that's for sure.
Well, ages are just... I'm surprised we're focusing on it, but there's the shot. Marafiotti doesn't fall. As I was going to say, that will take so much pressure off Jasmine Boone, having that second import in the Lions lineup. Boone, thought that was going in all the way, but that was a difficult shot. Marafiotti bringing it up. Saunders puts up the 3-ball, and it looked like it was going in. That's the first miss of the night, but they get the rebound, and South really putting the pressure on the Lions here.
A scrappier start to this quarter than we've seen in the first quarter. Not as fluid as we'd like. McKendrick gets the ball knocked away, keeps composed, pops it out to Saunders on the stroke. Oh, the shot clock going off. It would have been good if it went in.
Nothing eventuates. Schrappel doesn't go in.
How were things are meant to end?
End-to-end basketball. End-to-end misses as well. Saunders.
Afterburners.
Roadrunner.
Schrappel controlling it once again. Pull-up jumper. Good from Erin Schrappel.
That's talent there by Erin Schrappel. Really showing some initiative here for the Lions, keeping them in touch, just 7 points trailing now. But here we go, here's Harnett giving it to McKendrick. Harnett back out to Saunders. Saunders fakes past Boone, and Harnett doesn't know where to go. Gives it up, 3-second violation. Good defense there by the Lions. Bit disappointing though by South if you're them.
Changes, Sexton heading to the bench. Putting in some good minutes this season for Centrals as well. It's pleasing from her perspective. A seasoned vet, she's been around a long time, and it's good for this young Lions team to have players like Swain, players like Sexton really keeping them composed.
Quick pass through, and that goes out to Boone. Boone put it up. She does. And it rattles off the ring. And off the head of Saunders, she collects and gathers and moves it back up the court. Saunders to outside, Marafiotti with the shot. That is an air ball. Air ball collected by South. They have 14 seconds on the shot clock, so they can reset. Ball pass there though by Jordan Smith. And the Lions will eventually get the ball back.
Very, very fortunate there. Bit of a push off, but not enough to warrant an offensive foul, but it did pop off the leg of Marafiotti.
As we said, quite scrappy play here so far. I believe just 6 points scored from these first 5 minutes. Schrappel puts up the 3-ball. No good. But the quick break by South Adelaide. This is a basket for sure, you'd think. And I just put the Mickey on it, didn't I?
That was your fault. But she's looking right at you now, Benito. That's on you.
Saunders not too happy. She's barely missed a shot before that. Boone out. And she's going to lose possession here, Ellen Fisher. And the ball comes straight back up. South moving the ball quickly, getting past the Lions defense before they can even make it back. The transition play by South there, phenomenal.
We're seeing a lot of back and forth basketball here as South Adelaide want to have a bit of a chat about it, calm the tempo down a little bit. While it's high, it's a little bit out of control at the moment, but hopefully they can just settle it down. Saunders can hit these 2 foul shots and they can reset themselves and push themselves back out to almost a 10-point lead.
South have definitely looked the better side in this second term, but they haven't made the most of their opportunities. I believe the turnover count for the Lions is starting to pile up. They're up to 8 now. 3 of them off the hands of Swain as well, which she won't be too happy with of course. But where do you see Central's coming back here?
They need to just compose themselves. I mean, at the end of the day, these guys they're a good team. They're a young team. They have a little bit of inexperience, which is fine, but they just need to bring it back a little bit. Take that breath, make that one extra pass, which is certainly it's not a bad thing. If you're open, take your shots, but just move the ball around, stay composed, use everybody around you. That's how they're going to get back into this game. They're going to make sure that their offensive set is a lot more controlled. Defensively, they've been fantastic through this game. They've made the stops where they needed to, but on the offensive end, they seem to be just losing the plot a little bit.
And as we get back into it, Old Town Road ringing out around the stadium.
I can see you enjoying that. I'll leave you to listen.
It's quite a classic meme right now, I'd say, but I'm going to kill it if I talk any more about it. So we get back here with 4 minutes and 44 seconds remaining, all fours. Maybe we'll see Nisa Sexton score some points, number 44. She's not on the court,
might be a bit
so she's not
difficult
good.
at this point in time, but
Is 4 the numbers tonight?
as number 7 goes to the foul line. There's 4 letters in the word foul and line.
It's true. Starplex, 4 plus 4, 2 words.
It is. I can't count that fast.
There's 24 seconds in the shot clock. That's 4 times 6.
Yeah,
But the points count there.
Shots, yeah.
Boone, bit of a collision there. Gives it out, or passes it inside, but intercepted again, and that's their 9th turnover of the Lions. And Marafiotti breaking quickly. Doesn't quite have the composure to get that ball in the basket, but they'll go to the line for 2. So after all of that, after all the time out, the ball just goes straight back up to the south end, and they go to the line for another 2.
Jordan Smith with a very well timed rebound from the back over. About 4 Lions players will head to the line for 2 shots. Well deserved 2 shots. Just a little bit of a disco ball going on at the moment. As she makes the first one count, pushing it out to a double-digit lead for the first time tonight. Danger signs looming for Kevin Brooks and the Lions outfit. Need a score. This trip down the court has to result in a score. They need a confidence booster, and they need the points on the board, and they will not get it on this occasion. Turnover.
And that's just an unnecessary pass, isn't it? It's a risky going cross court, and I guess they have at least they have the confidence to try it off, but try to see it work out. Smith, shot doesn't fall, but they're gonna have another chance here, and this. It's all of a sudden becoming a bit desperate for the Lions, isn't it?
They need this like they've got nothing else left. They need this shot to go down. And it does just that. Big 3-point basket from Kirsten Mosey. Mosey on to down, and absolutely knocking down that shot, brings it back to an 8-point lead.
And you can just see the relieved nature of their faces here. Saunders out to Marafiotti. It might not matter, but doesn't go. Boone looking to bring it up, looking to cut into that deficit further. Looking to work things out. Jasmine Boone, she's got Swain at the top of the key.
Mosey in the corner.
Chappelle in the other corner, and a tumble. And the foul on Swain.
That'll be her second for the game. Offensive foul called on Leah Swain. Just lost body position on that screen. As the Anne Hatchard jump back into the ball game for South Adelaide. That's a huge in for South Adelaide. Not just skill-wise, but fitness and physicality-wise too.
It's so good to have cross-code is the word. That is. But cross-code players, of course, Molly McKendrick played a season in the Sanford W last year.
Yeah. Leah Swain,
another one, as we said. And Boone with the other one.
That's what you want. The excitement machine that is Jasmine Boone. Getting to the rack, putting it in, and we'll go to the foul line for the bonus.
Jasmine Boone with the necessary basket. You see the desperation there, just getting back in there and grabbing it.
And the passion on the face too. After she hit it, she's taken the hit just to bring it back to a 5-point ball game. Does just that.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that technique.
Would you want to see more of a press from the Lions at this point? You get back to a 5-point lead, more pressure, or is it better off for them to be back down on the defensive end?
Well, they're playing they're sagging deep, as we said, and that's an open 3 for Hatchard, who athletically grabs her own rebound. Probably should have passed it out to Saunders, but she grabs the board now. She works her way through, gets the foul called. She will go to the line, Mosey with the foul. But as you said, they just gave Hatchard that open 3. They were so deep into that court, so worried about the likes of McKendrick just being in there.
End of the day, everybody needs to do their job. Extend your defense out a little bit just to make sure that these wide open shots aren't happening. I mean, where are they going to get a bulk of their points from? They are probably going to get it down from the low post. Players like Hatchard, players like McKendrick, players like Whitworth Smith, they're all going to be quite dominant in the low post. So you can understand why they would want to stay the defense down, but they got so many weapons on the outside too.
So true. And Sexton coming back on. There's that 4-4 that we were talking about.
She's about 2 minutes and 6 seconds too late, unfortunately.
Quite unfortunate. But Boone, this is exciting play by the Lions. They're going to get through here, you'd think, but Swain gets blocked by Smith and they bring it back up. Just a little bit slow there, a little bit sloppy, but it looked good all the way up until she got blocked. And Hatchard looks like she's going to go to the line for 2 now.
Drawing the foul on Chloe Webley. Looked pretty clean, which that part of it certainly was okay, but cocked the body on the way through. I don't think she was too impressed with the call, but it was certainly there.
Well, the Panthers certainly keeping the scoreboard ticking by just continuous trips to the charity stripe.
This last 6 minutes of this, about 5 or 6 minutes of this quarter has certainly been all South Adelaide and well controlled. A little bit of a spurt back from Centrals on that, from the big thank you to Jasmine Boone and Mosey as well, brought them back, but again, from a 5-point deficit, it's now a 9-point deficit once again.
And another turnover nearly. Lions get away with it. But 11 from 14 from the free throw line. The Panthers are really making those fouls count. Here's Boone. Boone looking to do something special and passes it off. Sexton now. Boone on the other side of the court, moving around all over the place. Is Banwell. Banwell working. Shot clock's going to go off, and 3 seconds in the key for Leah Swain.
Another one.
She shakes her head, and anticlimactic finish to that play there.
It was a well-controlled offense until that happened. It's very interesting to see a few three in the key calls. We've seen about 3, I think, so far. It's probably one you're not really thinking about as a player. You're watching the ball move from one side to the other. You're making sure you're staying within your offense. As Hatchard finds Smith beyond the arc, just rims out.
She's getting closer.
She is. She's getting more to the right. We've seen 2 from this point. She's just a bit to the left.
Here's Webley. Webley to Sexton. Sexton to Banwell. And Banwell steps inside. Nice perimeter shooting there from Casey Banwell. And the points count. But
just confirming that was a 2, not a 3. I think that was the whistle blow. But we've got a substitution for South Adelaide. McKendrick checks out. And Marafiotti checks in. Also taking a seat is Brianti Saunders as well. A well-deserved rest, McKendrick and Saunders.
And this is a chance for the Lions, still with Boone and Swain on the court, but without Saunders and McKendrick. They're their 2 like normal matchups, so they've got a bit of opportunity here as Boone works her way up the court. She's got to get past Smith and Hatchard. She does.
Oh, that step.
Just not fold, but Swain with the rebound. She might go herself, and easy buckets for Leah Swain. And the deficit just 5 points. South certainly not making the most of their dominance of this term. Here's Hatchard on Boone. 2 star athletes in women's sport.
The intensity on Hatchard's face, she was...
Smith puts it up. Oh, and that's too long this time. But the rebound, strong work in there by Elizabeth Petrie. And Marafiotti gives it to Hatchard, and they reset with 8 seconds on the clock.
With every missed shot, you're closer to your next basket, that's for sure. As Smith takes a jumper from closer in, this one rattles around, and Sexton takes the board. 30 seconds to play in this first half.
7 seconds separating the shot clock and the game clock as Boone looks to take most of that off here. She's going to play tempo for a little bit. as we see 10 seconds tick down. Boone gives it out, and there's the shot. It
Webley
falls.
from downtown, making that web stick.
The deep web. Smith looks to counter, doesn't fall back. Hatchard with the strong offensive rebounds, and she gets points just before the end of the term.
Clearing the pack like a game of marks up here at halftime.
She got two little horns and they're giving me a little bit.
Oh, good to roll with this second half.
And we're back underway. Of course, I'm Benito, AB here as well with me. And downtown Allen Brown, we've got a good night ahead.
We certainly have. We've seen a cracker of the first half. Boone about to start the way she finished it, but kicks it out.
And Benwell's almost starting the way she finished it with that 3-ball late in the term, bringing the
Absolutely, but
deficit
they've
back.
got a second chance.
Swain dribbles past, gets it around, and doesn't fall kindly. And McKendrick with the tumbling rebounds. And South get their first possession of the second half, up by 4. Smith to Saunders. Saunders, not too bad. Of course, Smith, one of their better 3-point shooters, but she's currently 0 from 3 from range. So Saunders probably the better option there. Here's Banwell, and gives it out. Working hard here is Webley. Webley gets through and goes for 2. Heavy hits there.
Wasn't too happy with that hit, that's for sure. She was within the arc, though. Certainly the right call, but that's what happens when you're a big. You take those hits.
Certainly feeling it, Casey Harnett, and she is slow to get up. She crawls her way to her place on the key.
Where her place is, but actually there, she's all right. She's okay. Sucking in the oxygen now.
It's been a tough half.
So far, yeah.
All 1 minute of it.
That 54 seconds has been brutal, especially when you
especially for Casey Harnett.
Especially for Casey Harnett when you get smacked in the guts by Chloe Webley. That's just going to happen. That's not going to be a good start for anybody.
You'll see it panning across the screen, but the rugs are out on the South Adelaide bench. It's a cold one here, and Saunders bringing the ball back up. South up 41-38 here.
Might be cold on the bench, but it's certainly hot on the court right now. So McKendrick looks away through.
Cross-court pass. Saunders drives, gets through, gives it back out. Here's Smith, and nice falling. Banwell with the rebound. Boone bringing it back up fast. She might get through here. She does, and the hand of Smith doesn't deter that ball from going into the basket.
Smith just was not sure in which direction that Boone was going to end up going.
And Smith on the other end nearly gets it. And the ball rolls out. Kevin Brooks wanted to grab that. He wishes he was on the court right now.
I'm not sure about the Premier League women's guidelines there, but I don't know whether he would have made the call personally. But that's not up for us to decide. Smith inbounds the ball, looking for a way through.
Harnett, she's not got too many options. Smith with another 3, and that's open. And she's not kind to Smith tonight. She has not had it her way, Jordan Smith. Here's Boone pushing through. She'll go for 2, really picking up the tempo in this second half.
If you're Jordan Smith, do you keep putting them up? That's 0 from 5?
Yes, unfortunately, but eventually they fall.
They do.
Boone looking to add to her 15 points that she's already tallied tonight. Of course, sporting those knee braces that you don't really see too often, but I reckon it's a look.
When you were just in nappies, I sported a couple of knee pads just like that. You know, that was the Patrick Ewing knee pads back in the day. They were all the rage.
Bring it back, AD.
All the rage.
Bring it back.
Oh, I've got it.
When you rock up to your social basketball game on Tuesday,
oh man,
dust off the kneecaps,
this is
put them
district.
on.
This is the serious stuff. You had to go to the knee pads in district. There was no take no prisoners. Deflection from where they're just going out of bounds.
Of course, it goes district and then FIBA World Cup. That's the level of competition districts is at.
Pretty much, especially when you wear knee pads. Sure.
And now McKendrick looking to drive. Good defense there from the Central District's Lions. Whitmer Smith with the rebound, but then takes the tumble. Boone just dispossesses her and takes it up. Jasmine Boone, she passes it wisely. Banwell wanted to pass out, but didn't have anyone there. And now it's Webley Webley takes the steps, gets fouled. That is good intent by the Lions, and they have the chance to hit the front now.
What they've done in this offense, we've just seen that go from one side of the court, pop out, back around again. They are making the extra pass. They are making their offenses last a little bit longer with that extra pass, and now they've got a chance to take the lead.
And the Panthers scoreless for this term still. It's 41 apiece. And all of a sudden, the Lions are back in front. Who would have scripted that 5 minutes into the second term?
They were 10 points down, 11 points down, and they were not looking like a team that could get back into this ball game, but they've managed to do it.
And then again, that's probably what script writers do, right?
Like scripts, as far as I know.
The scripts where good things actually happen, you know what I mean?
Especially for the Central District Lions looking for their first win of the 2019 Premier League season.
And of course, it says 0 and 5 on your screens, but it is 0 and 6. So here is the effort by Petrie, gives out to Whitworth Smith, and Boone gets the steal, works hard.
And draws the foul from Peter Smith.
The Jasmine Boone is having a term in these first 2.5 minutes.
Whitworth Smith, excuse me, not Peter Smith, that's Lois's dad from Family Guy.
It's easy to mix up the two. I know you get it. I know you get it.
It's tough.
And the press here by the Panthers, not too heavy. Just looking to control the damage, I'd say, at this point.
It was really very successful in that second quarter too, so I would not be surprised if they really started to go hard if this lead crept out a little bit further than just the 2 points.
Boone on the 3-point line. Now Banwell, she might put that up, she doesn't. And Saunders on Boone, this is a good matchup. Boone works hard, gets the shot away. It wasn't a good look, and South Adelaide will bring it back up. Up by 2, other Lions, trailing by 2 of the Panthers. And Saunders doesn't have much open. She gives it to Hatchard, the AFLW All-Australian in 2019. Here's McKendrick now, posting up. I thought Swain had to give her support there because all on her own was Kirsten Mosey, and she's such a hard difference there to McKendrick. But Swain dropped off and McKendrick made the shot count.
Communication and defence has got to be critical here for them. They've got themselves back into the game. They can't let it fall now.
Here's Webley thinking about the shot. And Boone now gives it off. Webley at the corner. Good work there getting around and getting her space free, but doesn't fall. And Hatchard looking to drive. She drives fast, gets the foul. She'll go to the line for another 2. And Hatchard.
Just a battering ram, man, Hatchard.
Plays basketball like she plays football.
Took a spectacular grab over the top of the pack with a few seconds to go in that first half as well. She steps to the line for a bit more of a calmer, comfortable situation for her.
Well, she's 3 from 4 from the line now, so make that 4 from 5. She shows that composure. It's like a set shot, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, she's 5 meters out directly in front.
And there you go.
Watch them both.
And Boone looking a little bit frustrated again. But she's got support. They can't lose their heads here, trailing by just 2 points now. And look at this ISO matchup. Boone Saunders, the screen from Swain. Boone puts up the 3. It's looping and into the basket. Jasmine Boone.
Crucial basket for Central Districts.
And McKendrick working hard. That clap was McKendrick's, and she heads to the line for 2.
Did not get the seal on the baseline, just allowed way too much room. Wandered through and almost put it in for a chance at 3-point play, but it just rattled out, and she'll go to the line for those 2 shots.
As we reset here, of course, in the last match, the Panthers made the trip down to the Ice House. They fell short by 14 points to Amanda Frost and the Mount Gambier Pioneers.
Not an easy road trip at all. So
the most difficult on the Premier League calendar, and it's making it harder is the fact that it's the first time they've ever had to do it.
Exactly, and let's be honest, Mount Gambier are a decent outfit. That is for sure.
Well, it's impressive as well because they've put together a team within months, knowing that they had to bring up a women's team to join this league. Here's Webley, and poor layup there. McHenry brings it back up, and Mount Gambier really showing teams that they're a team to be reckoned with.
And they're sitting a win outside the top 4 as well, which is great for them, a great result.
In that match though, Saunders was good. She had 21, so South weren't all at sea in that match. Boone not getting that one to fall. And just a 1 point game here now, 46 to 47. Whitmer Smith gives it to McKendrick. The height is on south side in this lineup, and Boone keeps it in, but only for so long. That'll go back to the Panthers. Boone upset with herself, but she can't be too guided. She's working in overtime in about 5th or 6th gear here.
She is giving everything, and it is only halfway through this third quarter as well. McKendrick goes middle, kicks it back out. Hatchard, too long on that occasion, Swain with the board.
Real footballer's shot technique there from Hatchard. Sexton, bullet pass in Swain. And
Good finish. Does it well, keeping in touch, back in front.
this is quite a match that's unfolded. Of course, 9th versus 11th on the ladder. The teams both need wins to get back in this. Hatchard, that's better, but doesn't fall. And Saunders has space now on the perimeter. She drives inside, does the spin. And what a block by Jasmine Boone, but unfortunate because she stepped out of bounds. And Boone with Saunders all the way there, reading where she was going to go. The pirouette didn't affect her. And calling a timeout, I believe, is Kevin Brooks.
Must be a bit of footballness rubbing off on some of the other players as well. Marafiotti, if you just notice, a bit of a palm down to Saunders on the back of that rebound there. Rather than taking control of it, she knew Saunders was behind her. That would have been a pretty epic play if that had gone off for the South Adelaide Panthers.
Speaking of star players joining the Premier League, we've also had star players from the Premier League join the AFL. Of course, Jess Foley from Norwood. She was brilliant for Adelaide when Ruckman went down with an injury. Jess Foley stepped up in very short notice and was one of our best players.
Yep. That was fantastic for Jess. She's been such a stalwart of South Australian basketball, not only here in SA but when she's gone elsewhere to ply her trade and overseas. So and it's so much joy seeing her have so much success beyond what she had here in the Premier League, especially from last season as well.
For sure. And the question is, does she come back this season to the Premier League? Well, if she does, she might be playing tonight across at the Arc. We shall see. But of course, back to the game here. The Lions leading by 1 point, I should say, 48 to 47. This quarter's gone fast, but it's been entertaining, and all that we've learned is that this match could really go either way. The Lions really pushing for their first win of the season.
What we were hoping to see, what we were worried that we weren't going to see about 5 minutes into the second quarter. So it's good to see that Centrals are really pushing hard. They are spreading the court a bit on their offense, which is great to see. So it's really made a huge difference finding that extra pass, finding that extra shot, and not just relying on Jasmine Boone.
Here's Marafiotti, brings it out, and the shot might go up here from Stewart. It goes from range, Hatchard. That was audacious. Stewart gets the rebound, makes it go.
Audacious. That's the word of the day. Put down the thesaurus, but that was magical.
Thanks. But here's Chappelle, pass the inside to Swain, but Swain can't control. Going to the ground is Petrie, or Smith, I should say. Here's Swain, works inside. Lovely body work there. And Chappelle, the shortest player on the court, nearly grabs the O-board.
Floated through the keyway, Swain, like a majestic flamingo. That's all I can really roll with. Yeah, well, she's got the pink shoes.
I'll take it.
That's all I got.
And out there is Boone. Boone gets it, puts up the shot. Not a bad look. And Hatchard looking to counter here, transitioning, gives it off to McKendrick, and they might take it a bit slower. Oh, Stewart takes a look, likes what she saw, but then passes it out. Hatchard, not afraid to shoot it, works her way inside.
The battering ram.
Like a bulldozer. And now Chappelle holds up the thumbs up, saying everything's good. But it probably is actually a tactic that we're going to implement here. Let's watch it unfold. Chappelle, no look pass, out to Sexton. Ring not kind to her, but the rebound is grabbed by Dixon. Dixon to Chappelle. Chappelle to Swain, blocked. Sent away by Stewart. Rejected, go back. And now Marafiotti will reset again. Boone back on defense really quickly there, read that well.
Held up nicely. Hatchard looking to go through. Pops it back out. Big shot. Nothing but net. Hannah Stewart from downtown. Brings it back out to a 6-point lead for South Adelaide. Suddenly, again, we're seeing South Adelaide kick out once again.
And yeah, really showing nerves are still there. Without their head coach, it must be said as well. Of course, off at the state championships is Richard Dickel.
Kelly Manning, though, an absolute pro. Been around the Premier League for a very long time.
And sporting that, it almost is a retro look track jacket as well, if you do get a look at him on the south bench. To be honest, I kind of want one of them. They look pretty sweet.
Under the red, the white, it all kind of blends nicely.
As you can see him just past Leah Swain there on the screen.
We've got a bit of a red, white and blue sort of theme going tonight with both teams playing each other. Same colours. Leah Swain to the line for 2 shots.
All of a sudden these become important, don't they? So important.
Probably not as important to Leah Swain at that moment. She's not gotten well with that first one, but she'll adjust for the second one and put it in the hole. No worries about that.
It's always a question of over-adjusting or under-adjusting. When you miss the first one, you have so many second thoughts about where to put it.
But she put it right where it needed to be and brings it back to a 5-point ball game.
Hatchard on Chappelle. She's got the height and the speed. Goes underneath the basket. Doesn't find its way out to the other side.
She's going to just force the ball through the ring in some capacity.
Trying to cause a paradox there is Hatchard. I don't know what would happen if that happened. That actually was pulled off. Here's Boone all by herself. This would be big. It would have been.
It would have been, and it was not. But a good look and a good open look for Jasmine Boone. She continues to find open gaps.
Fiossi passes it straight to Boone. Boone drawing the ball like a magnet.
It was like she was wearing a white singlet instead of a blue one, but
the colours are the same.
Yes, yeah, they have similar colours. Blue and white are generally it's not dwelling it. It's Jasmine Boone heads to the line for 2 shots.
Well, we were talking just before about how they had the same colourways, the red, white, and blue.
They do. We talk about crucial foul shots. Jasmine Boone knows how to get these done. She's a clutch player.
Consummate professional. And again, necessary points. Minute 24 on the clock. And the thing that has happened in the past 2 terms is South Adelaide have gotten a late basket as time expired. I'm sure Kevin Brooks will be on that this term, and let's see if they can prevent it and even hit the front, because Centrals were knocking on the door there at the end of the second term. There's the layup blocked, but to the line. It was a good effort there from Hatchard.
Very, very good effort to get back. You knew she was going to. I think just her momentum just carried her across the arm and off the line goes Hannah Dixon.
Happy to remonstrate there though.
Oh look, you got to throw your 2 cents worth and make it worthwhile. But look, James Brown is an absolute professional when it comes down to explaining what's happened and the way he's called the game.
Is it because you guys share a last name? Is that the love?
Well, we don't quite share a last name.
Missing an E.
Yeah, he's missing an E. Not that I've got the E, he's missing the E. So that's unfortunate for Jim, but I'm sure he doesn't lose too much sleep over it. As we now got a 2-point ball game with a minute to play in this third quarter.
And that's 3 consecutive trips to the line for the Lions as well. McKendrick a bit short on that jumper, but the big rebound by Hatchard. She'll go to the line for 2. We've seen plenty of trips to the charity stripe.
We have.
And surely the foul counts are building up. We will get back to you on that. But a few...
South Adelaide have already been over the limit for about 3-4 minutes now, so they've been fortunate there hasn't been more trips to the foul line for Centrals as Hatchard goes to the line for her too.
Well, Hatchard, Whitler Smith and McKendrick all have 3 fouls, so keep an eye on that as time continues. On the other end of the court, only Kirsten Mosey has 3 personal fouls, so it feels like we've seen a lot of trips to the line, but a lot of shooting fouls. Dixon's pass. Great anticipation there from Sexton. Bit of 1983 vintage for you.
Right place, right time. We know how to get it done from 1983, that's for sure.
Stewart working around.
We're plucky.
Plucky is the word. And Stewart blocked. And we get another trip to the line.
She just had to settle her feet down. She got a little bit overexcited seeing the player running through. She'd set them, it would have been either offensive or just a turnover.
Stewart now looking to build South's lead because it's sitting at a precarious 1 point. 54-55 is the score.
Critical foul shots. And don't you know it?
Just 30 seconds in the term. And how do you see, who do you go to here if you're the Lions? I believe Boone's been on the court the entire term.
You would expect so. I think you don't. You bring Boone into it, let her do what she needs to do, but make sure you got your wings open. You got your Shrapnels on the wings. You got your Hannah Dixons on the wings, ready to take that next pass because it's going to be a real focus. Here's
Sexton. She wants to go herself. Sent packing by Smith. And with the head height advantage,
you got to expect that. You go into the basket. You're going to give it a red hot crack and try to get the ball in the basket. And that height difference is it just happens. Shrug it off. Do it again.
Boone looking for options. Gives it out. Dixon now. 15 seconds on the clock. 5 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Sexton gets free and really should have got that ball into the basket.
Absolute soda right there. Beautiful pass. Great bounce pass, finding the gap, squeezing a watermelon through a lemon hole from Erin Shrapnel.
It's tough to do. And Marafiotti with seconds counting down. Another basket as time expires.
Exactly what you were saying a minute ago, that last second shot.
And it's happened again.
She got two little horns and they're giving me a little bit.
As well, so she's going to be tired, but she's going to be a real focal point again for Central in this quarter, and she has to be.
For sure. And South Adelaide, they've had 28 points from their bench compared to Central's 15, I should say. So a really good spread of scoring. Here's McKendrick. That looked like a dart there. Could have gone.
A little pop shot, just beyond the keyway.
And good pass. Swain works inside. That's impressive, but doesn't fall. And now South Adelaide take it up. Here's Hatchard. Takes a tumble, does Banwell, and gives out to Smith. Can she hit her first of the night? The answer is no. Stay tuned.
It's a similar answer throughout the game. Look, at the end of the day, you know you can hit them. If they're not going in, that's fine.
She's got the third highest three-point shooting percentage in the league.
Sometimes it's just not your night.
Yeah, exactly. Swain looking like she doesn't have many options. And Hatcher draws the foul. Of course, Swain with the elbows up trying to pass it. It was a bit unfortunate.
You had 4 Central Districts players standing around waiting.
Yeah, it was not.
No off-ball screen, no movement to the ball, no run to space. Didn't give Leah Swain any options.
And Kevin Brooks cutting a forlorn figure on that Lions dugout. Here's Stewart, gets the basket, and we're at 7 points now. It's 54-61, 9 minutes remaining in the term. And Banwell brings it up, gives it to Boone. She's key here. Jasmine Boone, out to Banwell, and now to Webley. Webley gets the screen, but Hatchard covers well. Banwell gives it to Boone. Here's Boone with 7 seconds on the clock. She's got no way in. She passes it over the top to Webley. The shot has to go off here, and it's not going to get off in time. And it went in too. Unfortunate there, but no dice for the Lions as Mosey got the shot.
Mosey's been shooting well from...
She's been lively.
She has. She's been shooting. She's had 2 3-point attempts. That one didn't count, clearly. But nothing but the bottom of the cup.
And Saunders back on court and back doing what she does best. She moves up to 17 points for the term.
We're moving really, really into dangerous territory now. You've got to isolate some shooters. Get Mosley on the 3-point line. She's clearly got some hand there.
Jasmine Boone works her way through, gives it to Webley. Webley sets herself, and that one doesn't fall. And on the other end of that is Mosey causing the foul.
That'll be her 4th. It certainly is. They can't afford to lose a player like Mosey because she can pop up and make something happen out there where it's really been a one-person show.
It's difficult for her playing on McKendrick though here. She's got to make sure she doesn't cause the foul. But McKendrick will love that matchup. She's already got 10 centimetres on Mosey. To have the opponent on 4 fouls too, that's really dangerous territory, as we said, for the Lions.
She can get rid of one opponent and get on to the next one. I mean, that's a personal victory for her as well, you'd imagine.
Hatchard on Boone, swaps to Saunders. Boone spots the open Banwell, but Banwell sends that into the stands. And McKendrick gives it off to Hatchard. Hatchard works her way through. Nice spin move. Works around. Doesn't fall though. And Mosey brings it to Boone, and these become necessary seconds for the Lions. Boone doesn't have anything and steps out of bounds. Unfortunate for Jasmine Boone.
You'd think Arresta Boone has to be coming now. Looks like she's out on her feet.
She's staying on. I feel like she has to ride this one out.
How much can you ask of Jasmine Boone though with this in this last 7 minutes? Down by 9 points. She's their leading scorer. She's really one of their only options at the moment. They seem to really be looking for her a lot. Is it now time to take her out of the game and allow those other players to go, look, now I actually have to do what I know I can do. So players like Mosley, players like Webley, players like Swain, getting themselves back into the game and getting themselves on the board.
I think it's almost too late, isn't it?
7 minutes to go. We've seen this game change lead how many times? We've seen the runs come from both teams how many times? There's still a window. It might only be a crack open, but it's still there if Centrals can get some stops and get some points on the board and just spread that load.
Well, of course, the Panthers did have a lead of 11 earlier in the encounter, so...
And they took the lead off of them at some point during that, after that process, so it is certainly doable. I think Kevin Brooks will be telling them right now that they are still in this game. It might be 9 points, but there's still plenty of time left. They just need to get on their roll again.
And doesn't that lady, quite a key figure, Leah Swain, if she can continue to work hard under the basket, she's struggled at times tonight. She hasn't looked as she did last year when she was just a block machine and a rebound machine tonight. She has had the 7 turnovers, which is an ugly stat when you've only got 7 points to your name.
It's not something that we normally see with Leah Swain.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like I say, she's an absolute, she's a vet, she's a professional. Saunders saunters her way through the key, knocking them away, putting in the 2 points, and now an 11-point lead to South Adelaide.
Pure talent there from Saunders. Here's Boone at the top. Webley doesn't have much. Hatchard, great defense. And now Banwell had an airball earlier, but it's a bit of ping pong in there. And South get possession again, and we're at an 11-point lead with South possession. Gives it out to Hatchard. Hatchard, great pass to Saunders.
The one person you do not want to leave open.
And now a 13-point lead. South Adelaide putting on the afterburners here and really pushing the Lions to breaking point. And we might see Boone forced to take an unlikely shot here. But they do pass it around still, but they're still playing their game style. Boone actually has a bit of space here. They need to find her, but they don't. Sexton, unlikely shot. Doesn't go. This is unfortunate.
The court awareness there from Centrals would have found that open look, but that's okay. They're back into defense now. They just need to switch it back on again.
McKendrick, great pass.
Pass, finish it off. No finish, Boone with a rebound. Puts on the Jets. But will hold it up.
And she drives again. Boone grabs her own rebound, fouled. She'll go to the line for 2. A necessary trip to the line for Jasmine Boone. She's still slicing her way through that defense like butter, even if she is gassed.
She'll find something else. Players like Jasmine Boone have that next level. It's an unknown. It's something that you just don't see in a lot of players. It's that next level. That's what separates her from a lot of other players in the Premier League. And she does exactly what Centrals needed her to do. Knocks them both. Defense has now extended.
And at this point, if the Lions can string a couple baskets together, the pressure shifts straight onto the Panthers because Lions have nothing to lose here. Centrals have nothing to lose. And the pass out, Sexton takes the mid-range jumper. I don't know about that shot choice when they could have just driven to the ring. Boone sees where that is, and we get a jumper. That'll stay with the Lions. Great fight there after nearly capitulating what looked like a certain basket a few seconds earlier.
Interesting shot choice. They had a 3-on-1. They were all sort of in the same line as they're coming along, so it wasn't a clear fast break, but to pop it out for a mid-range jump shot, look, at the end of the day, Sexton will hit those normally, but not on this occasion.
Norgate to Boone. Boone, Hatchard lively in defense. And Boone has to give it out to Sexton. Sexton wanted to shoot that. I don't know if that was ever on. Banwell drives and draws the foul, and she'll go to the line for 2. Looking to cut the deficit back into single figures. And if she can do that, then the pressure ever so slightly shifts onto South Adelaide, a team who need the win to stay in touch with the top 5.
I really don't think at any point in the last 5 minutes can South Adelaide rest on their laurels, because we've seen Centrals get on a run and really, really roll. A couple of big shots and they are straight back in it, as the first one rims out from Casey Banwell, unfortunately.
Well, out of nowhere as well, those runs came from. We thought they were not going to come back in that second term, and they just, like lightning, just sliced back into it. And his
Speaking of lightning quick, straight through the key, nothing but net. Great little lob at the end there from Hatchard.
Doesn't need glass.
Doesn't need anything, just get out of the way.
Here's Boone. And Jasmine Boone, they can't give her anything ISO. That's a nice pull-up, but doesn't fall. And the rebound falls to South Adelaide. And with just 4 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, it's battle stations here. Hatchard, nice pass out. That could be big. But the offensive rebound grabbed by Petrie, and McKendrick has it at the line. Gives out to Harnett. Harnett with the open look. Doesn't fall when Boone grabs the rebound. And she looks exhausted. But she continues to fight.
She would have played all but, maybe 3 minutes of this game from the looks of it, Jasmine Boone.
Yeah, she had that rest at the end of the first term, I believe. And keeping it alive, Sexton takes the shot. Still not sure about that. But here's Boone. Boone to reset. She's got a matchup she might like, but doesn't go with it. Good pass into Sexton. Sexton gets free. And that's points. With 4 minutes remaining, Central needs to get a move on.
Still keeping ever so slightly in touch. McKendrick just controlling the pace.
What's a winning score here for the Panthers? I believe if they get to much past 70, they've got this.
Look, with 3 minutes to go, I think they'll probably hit the 75-76 barrier. I think they'll be well and truly enough points to take this game.
And that should have been a basket. And now working hard on defense, but not able to get there is McGowan. And Saunters her way to the basket.
I knew you'd like that one.
That's a great use of words there from downtown Alan Brown, right next to me. Here's Banwell to Boone. Boone gives it a heave and kicks it out. That's good movement. Sexton looking for buckets.
Draws it first. You see on the replay, Hatchard slicing and dicing. That's what you want to see from an All-Australian AFLW champion. As Leah Swain checks back in for McGowan. Just a quick rest for Leah Swain. The last 3 minutes are going to be absolutely crucial as Sexton heads to the line for 2 shots.
An interesting time to take Swain off as well.
Foul shots win your games, basically. I think is what it comes down to. You have a high percentage of foul shots within the game. You give yourself every opportunity to take the points at the end of the day. If you don't, they're basically free shots. That's why they're called free throws.
Well, exactly. Charity stripe. As you say, there's so many euphemisms we can use. And Mosey checks back in for Sexton.
It's a good move, probably a bit of a late move, but a good move bringing Mosey on. She's quite dangerous from long range.
Saunders looking to spend a bit of that clock. There's only 3 minutes of it now. And Marafiotti, what a pass. And an athletic rebound there by Hatchard, but she's denied by Swain. Swain, not even, she got on her tiptoes, but didn't move into the air at all, just said no.
She is a mountain. She is really tough to get past for anybody, regardless of who you are or how big, how fast, how sharp you are.
And the turnover, here's Mosey. Swain getting a hand in there. Chappelle bringing it up. And here's Swain. She gets the matchup that she wants. Basket falls, and it's a 10-point match. Never say die.
Swain having a big influence in this last 30 seconds. A block, a steal, and 2 points.
And here's Marafiotti. She's looked a class act all night. Great pass over to Saunders. And look at Kevin Brooks on the sideline, just not happy with how it's going. Quite entertaining, actually.
He's living every moment of it. That's what a good coach will do.
Saunders back to McKendrick. 5 seconds on the shot clock. That fadeaway jumper.
Trademark Molly McKendrick.
Mask off Molly McKendrick. And that could be curtains. And Mosey losing the ball. Marafiotti on the end of that pass gives it off to Harnett. Harnett to Saunders.
Ball movement from South Adelaide. That's exactly what Kelly Manning wants to see. Closing it out in these final moments, now leading by 14. This game is just about sewn up for South Adelaide.
And Swain working hard, and that's going to fall away. Saunders grabbed the rebound, and South again off to the races. Good pass out, Marafiotti. Oh, behind the back. Boone can't steal it, but Marafiotti losing the ball herself. Chappelle gets fouled out after all that. And just a minute 24 remaining. South Adelaide showing their superior ball movement in that sequence.
You've got to be pleased with the effort from Marafiotti for Kelly Manning. I mean, she's coming in as a backup to Saunders. She looks so composed, even when she's throwing the ball away. She's just such a, like, yeah, that's okay. I'm all right. We're okay. We'll get it back. Type of look on her face, but she tells her teammates she's looking at her team that's going, everything's okay.
Here's Boone, pulls up, and well, the Aladdin Broadway musical is passing through Adelaide, and Jasmine's showing South Adelaide the world right now. I made that up.
Yeah, that's good. Have you seen it? Have you been?
I haven't been there yet, but here's Boone again driving, works on McKendrick, does the throw.
That's what you're leading into it. So, well, I'll give my review.
Check it out. All I've heard is good reviews for that Broadway musical. McKendrick, champion.
Allowed into the keyway there, and 2 points for McKendrick. That's the best I could come with. But I apologise to everybody listening at home.
Is the interception, but Chappelle.
Good pickup, good bucket. She's played a good game. She can certainly hold her head high. As much as a lot of these Lions players can do, they have played a cracking game of basketball here tonight.
Saunders gives it off, and Stewart can't make it count, but McKendrick usually takes that. Boone with another rebound, and another stat as well, it must be said. Jasmine Boone has been brilliant tonight. And she passes out. Chappelle might have the last shot of the game. Does it fall? Oh, works hard for the rebound, even though there's only 7 seconds on the clock.
Centrals with an opportunity for some bonus points here.
Of course, as we look through the stats, Jasmine Boone starred tonight in their tough loss. 27 points, 17 rebounds, 5 steals.
Just not enough people when going with her throughout the game. Comparing that to South Adelaide, where McKendrick's taken in 12 points.
Saunders 25 as well. You've got Hatchard who had 14 as well. What a great addition to the South Adelaide lineup. Hatchard is.
Stewart with 9 as well. There have been more than 1 or 2 contributors for South Adelaide. Fantastic effort right across the floor.
And playing it out is Smith. Smith, I don't think she realises the clock. She played that up.
And that is game over at Starplex. South Adelaide running out winners by 10 points. A big game from Molly McKendrick. Another double-double, and an even bigger game on the scoreboard for Saunders as well, as Benito mentioned. So, I think that we're getting wrapped up already. We're going to get into a break and get up to the men's game. We'll be back with you guys very shortly. South Adelaide winning 77-67 in the women's.